this week here at Royal Birkdale?
Yeah, I'm very excited for another major, coming off a win and then a few-week break. Feel fresh, feel ready to go. I had a week vacation and then started back into it. Just trying to keep my ball striking where it's been at, and then fine-tune the short game and play the different shots and adjust to the speed of the greens over here. I like the golf course. It's very cool. It's a very tough but fair test. One that's demanding off the tee, and if you get that part done, then into the greens and on the greens, you could play kind of to the center of them and putt to the corners. It's one of those the greens aren't crazy. There's only a couple that have any kind of ridges to them. So it's about controlling your ball, off the tee in these crosswinds to give yourself the opportunity to hit the center of the green. I think we have a good game plan thus far, and it'll be kind of fun to try and test it in some conditions tomorrow that will hopefully prepare us for what we're expecting this weekend.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll open the floor to questions. If you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Just at the back right, please.
Hi, Jordan. You said that you took a holiday just to try and rest up, and we know that when Ricky goes away, he likes to maybe do some fun things and stunts and things like that. I mean, were you just calm and relaxed, or did you do anything interesting when you were away?
Pretty calm and relaxed. Went with some friends on vacation, and yeah, it was just nice to to get away and feel like I like the beach, and we went to the beach. So it's kind of nice to put your feet in the sand and take a deep breath. And I went 6 out of 7 weeks prior, so it was a heavy stretch with a couple of them being home events, which are also you'd think would be more rest, but they're actually pretty crazy. So it was just kind of nice to breathe deeply for a week straight out there, and then come back, with a little fire and a little longing to get back to work. I went away not wanting to touch a club, and then after a few days' time of resting, you start to want to bring it back. So it was nice to kind of have that fire and put in some pretty solid work over the last week, and game feels really good right now.
Okay, Ewan, back right, please.
Jordan, you obviously want to put a stop to this, but there's been 7 first-time major champions in a row coming in here. What does that say or mean, if anything, and do you think it's a good or a bad thing for the sport?
Well, I think there's a lot more guys who haven't won majors than guys who have that are playing. So I think the chances are that it's going to be somebody who hasn't won one. But it's very difficult to do the first time. I mean, it's just mentally, it's that much harder than winning a tournament in general, and those are very difficult to win. I think it's a really impressive stat, and it speaks to the state of the game. A lot of tremendous young players right now. And then you've got guys like Henrik and Dustin, who in that past 7 stretch that are guys who are still young, but guys who have been around contention many times, and it was sooner or later going to happen, and then it did. It was just a matter of time for them. So it could be anybody this week. At this tournament, it tends to fall on half the field. You kind of cut half the field depending on a draw. Sometimes it's more or less, 75%. But most of the time there's at least a group that, gets the worst weather. And it's almost impossible to win in that circumstance at an Open Championship. So nothing we could do about that other than keep your head down, play as well as you can, and see what happens after 2 days. And then, obviously the leaders have to play in the same conditions as each other. So the Open is one that this is my 5th one now, and I've seen really dry and favorable conditions like Muirfield, and then last year was pretty wicked on I think Friday, and I've kind of seen a bit of everything in 4 years' time. To say that it may be the easiest of the majors to win if you had to pick a major, just because the draw can take out half a field. But the type of golf you have to play is totally different than what we see in the other 3 majors. You have to have a lot of imagination and a lot of ball flight control. So I'm not saying it's easy based on competition or anything like that. I'm strictly saying because a lot of the time some of the field's thrown out and you're actually playing against a smaller field, your percentage chances go up. So, again, can't control it. Keep your head down. Be confident in what you're doing. And out here, play to the middle of the greens.